Hello everyone, I'm Rick Wright from the Livestock Markets Association of Canada with today's regional livestock market report for Eastern Canada for the last week of November. It's brought to you today by the Canadian Angus Association. This past week in Ontario had good movement of cattle through the public auctions right across the board on the fed cattle market. Fairly steady market with the live weight cattle bringing 135 to 145.75. On the rail that balanced out to about 231 to 235 and a quarter. On the cow market in Ontario, good cows averaged 61.50 with some good beef cows topping the kill trade at 73.50 and stronger demand for some feeding cows as well. Bulls in Ontario averaged 92 cents across the board, high sellers of the week at 106. On the feeder cattle market, they traded 6,200 feeder cattle in Ontario this past week. That's down slightly from the 68.50 that they sold in the same week last year. Prices, however, were fairly steady to strong on all classes of feeder cattle. On the steer market for the past week, your good 300 to 400 pound steers averaged 211.50 with the high sellers over at Cookstown on Friday at 296. Your 400 to 500 pound steers traded on average for the week at 234.50. High sellers of the week 281 over at Cookstown. 500 to 600 pounders 217 and a quarter averaging for the week. High sellers again at Cookstown were at 259. On the 600 to 700 pound steers, they averaged 204.50 for the week. The high sellers came out of Horde Station. Horde Station reporting in at 232. On the 700 to 800 pounders, they averaged 185 and a quarter for the week. Katy Market had the high sellers for the week up in Terra at 215. On the heavyweight steers, yearlings and heavy calves weighing 800 to 900 pounds, they averaged 181 and a quarter for the week. High sellers were 201.50. Your 900 to 1,000 pound steers for the week in Ontario averaged 179 with the high sellers of the week over at Brussels at 193. And your 1,000 pound plus steers on the short keeps averaged 170 and a quarter for the week. The high sellers in Cookstown on Friday were at 186. On the heifer trade, we saw a lighter volume of heifers. We're seeing about 3 steers for every heifer on the delivery sheets. Your good 300 to 400 pound stocker heifer calves in Ontario the past week averaged 197.50 with the high sellers for the week at 285 over in Cookstown. Your 4 to 5 weight heifers averaged 189.75 with the high sellers for the week at 237.50 at the Katy market. Your 500 to 600 pounders averaged for the week in Ontario 187 and a quarter. High sellers out of Cookstown at 225. 6 to 7 weights averaged 176.50. On the heifer trade as high as 208 in Brussels on Friday. Your good 700 to 800 pounders averaged 164.50. High sellers for the week at 192 and a half. Moving to the heifer weight, heavier heifer weights, your 800 to 900 pounders at 160 on the average. High sellers for the week at 183. 900 to 1,000 pounders averaged 149.50 with the high sellers at 173. Taking a look just before we close at the bred cow market, we're starting to see a few bred cow sales in Ontario and right across Canada. The good bred cows and good bred heifers out of the complete dispersals and reputation herds traded this week from $1,800 to $2,500 per head with good demand locally for those good bred cows. We're expecting steady numbers for the next week. These higher grain prices are going to start to play on the feeder cattle market, especially on those cattle that are going on the finishing rations, but we don't expect any major changes in the market for the next 7 days. Reporting from the Livestock Markets Association of Canada for the Canadian Angus Association, I'm Rick Wright. Good marketing and stay safe.